Hi everyone. Today in how to approach sociological theories. In the first unit, we will be learning about social theory and its context. This is a reading lesson exercise. In the first unit, we are learning about social theory and its context. So what all the content are there is in this unit is introduction, prominence of socialism, individual versus collectivity, Comte and the Enlightenment, Durkheim and the Enlightenment, the Marxian ideology, Weberian ideology, the British sociologists, Spencer's evolutionism, conclusion and further reading is given in this unit 1. The learning objective is, after you have studied this unit, you should be able to describe the context of social theory, discuss the role of Comte, Max Weber, Durkheim, describe some early British social theorists, assess the role of context in the rise of social theory. Introduction. Sociological theories are embedded in a particular social context and are deeply influenced by them. Each sociological thinker and theorist has to respond to the social situation in which he or she exists and to try and make sense of the enveloping culture. That is to say that sociological theory is the sociologist's response to the context in which he lives and works. This truism will become increasingly apparent as you study the unit. However, it needs to be pointed out that there is an inner context and an outer context. The interplay between these two interrelated arenas of living creates sociological theory. The inner context is the background and the mindset of the theorists, and also the strong influences and ideas that motivates a thinker to become a social theorist. The outer context is the overall environment, social and physical, that the society is embedded in. However, this is not to say that similar contexts cannot or do not produce competing theories. Social theory and its development thus take place in a particular social and psychological setting. We now give a description of the overall social context in which the sociological theory developed. As is well known, sociology developed first in the West, and it was in the 20th century that it percolated to India. It was in the 20th century that it percolated to India. The French Revolution in 1789 created such an urgent context that it became an important element to create a need for sociological theorizing. Thus, the French Revolution gave rise to many changes in that theory. These changes were beneficial in the main, but there are also problematic. One of these problems was the law and order maintenance in France. Some thinkers even advocated that law and order in France after the revolution was worse than what existed in the medieval ages. Now, surprisingly, the major theorists like Comte and Durkheim were deeply concerned with the law and order. Apart from the revolution in the France, we find another source of stimulation to the thinkers. This was the industrial evolution in the 19th and early 20th centuries. The Industrial Revolution was a series of development that changed the mainly agrarian-based economies to those depending on the factory or industrial system. Factory jobs were readily available in the town, and there was a shift away from the countryside to industrial jobs. Now, not only this, we find that everything had begun being influenced by rapid technological changes. These themselves required large bureaucracies to control and give direction to the emerging capitalism. With the premise of free trade or laissez-faire, the problem with this situation was that social inequality began to become extremely disparate, and while the factory owners or the capitalists earn large profits, the workers got painfully low wages. The fact of low wages led to the creation of trade unions and also to the movements trying to overthrow the capitalistic system itself. Thus, the industrial revolutions, the realistic capitalist structure, and the reaction against them were enormous, and these affected social thinkers greatly. And we find that Marx, Weber, and Durkheim were preoccupied with the problematics they unleashed.